Hello and welcome back to Tea Book Club. Tea Book Club is an online group of people who meet once a month to discuss a book that we've read. So each month I send out an email with a book that I've chosen for us to read on the subject of tea, and then we meet at the end of the month online to share a group chat where we discuss the book, our thoughts, things we learned, things we felt or thought about, our opinions. And we do this around the world, so we have two sessions. We have a session that covers the time zone for Australia, and a session that covers a time zone for the US and Europe. This month we are reading Taius Sosen's book, The Story of Japanese Tea, and if you've been following or have listened to my other recordings, you will see that I am absolutely in love with this book, and I continue to be. I'm nearly halfway through, and it's proving fantastic. So interesting, so thoughtful, and lots to learn about. So I'm going to start this week's 5-minute reading on page 73. Now, the readings tend to be more than 5 minutes, but 5-minute reading just sounds nice, so we're sticking with that. So page 73. Case study: the subtlety of producing kamairicha. To further illustrate the sensitivity that is necessary and the intensity with which a producer tends to his production of a quality kamairicha, I would like to use the words, translated here by the author, of Mr. Iwagana, a veteran kamairicha producer in Kumamoto Prefecture. The difference between fixing the tea by firing or by steaming is as large as the difference between black tea and gyokuro. When you produce the tea by scalding the leaf, it produces a pleasantly fresh and invigorating flavour and aroma. But when the heat is too high, the leaf will burn, and when it is insufficient, it will remain too green and receive a depraved fishy smell. It is said that in the past, the aroma of the tea you drank in the morning would linger in the mouth until noon. But we don't get to produce this kind of tea anymore. One of the shortcomings of kamairicha is that the amount of lost leaf is large and the ratio between raw material and finished product is low. That is to say, if we look at the cross-section of a leaf, the central veins are thick, whereas the green parts are thin. When fired together, the speed with which both areas dry is different, and as drying advances, the leaf becomes more prone to crumble, resulting in larger parts of the leaf to turn into powder. In addition, when fixing the leaf by pan firing, the leaf is essentially boiled in its internal saps, and when the raw leaf is large and coarse, it adversely affects the appearance of the product. That is why this tea can only successfully be produced with fresh young buds and leaves. With steaming methods, the leaf is fixed using external liquid, and there is therefore no need to worry about the leaf becoming scalded. Moreover, in this case, even coarser leaves can be employed. Crumbling is a minor issue and in effect results in a better ratio of final product over raw material. Another demerit is that when the harvested amount per 10 acres reaches over 300 kilograms, the quality of the final product will decline. On the contrary, for steamed production, even if the yield reaches 800 or 1,000 kilograms, the final product will still take shape as a good tea. Accordingly, this means that with steamed tea it is possible to increase production rates. A benefit of kamairicha is that it lends itself better to long-term storage. When you simply pay attention to humidity, you can store this tea easily at regular room temperature for over a year, omitting the troubles of cool storage and hermetic sealing practices that are required for the preservation of steamed tea. Excuse the joining of my new kitten, Mayo. He's very active and very into everything, so he's here to learn as well. We'll continue. The production of kamairicha, parching, irihara, is done on a flat iron plate or hollow iron trench that is positioned over an oven in which the flames can reach up to 300 to 400 degrees Celsius. Due to the changing weather conditions and alternating temperatures and humidity in the air, the manufacturer has to keep a close eye on the state of the leaf and the suitable temperature of the burner according to the conditions of that specific moment. Parching is monitored for approximately 2 to 3 minutes, just sufficient for the leaf to heat through to the core and completely halt all opportunity for oxidation. It is during this stage that kamairicha obtains its specific kamaka. While in the past this stage was commonly conducted by hand, contemporary parching machines are constructed as a long iron trough over a brick oven, in which rotating ladles aid with the progression of the leaf through the tunnel. Another trait is the fact that no external source of water is employed, such as is the case with the steaming method. On the contrary, directly bringing the tea leaf in contact with the heated surface of the cauldron will cause it to release moisture, which will turn into steam upon contact with the blistering iron. Consequently, the tea leaf is heated to halt oxidation, dried, and is in fact also caused to steam in its own saps. Kneading, junen, for Khmer-Cha is handled in the same or similar tea roller as the one that is used for the manufacturing of sencha. This machine exerts pressure on the cluster of tea leaf from above, and while pressing the mass down, it rolls the heap round over an embossed rolling surface like a ball. This process aids with evening out the humidity in the pack of leaves, while it breaks the internal tissue of the leaf in order to better release flavour in the first brew. Agitation, chuju, too, is managed in a similar, if not the same machine as is used for sencha. Since the manufacturing for sencha is the standard throughout Japan, the majority of Khmer-Cha factories have adopted equipment that is standardly available, which is why many machines that are put to work in Khmer-Cha manufacturing facilities are adopted from the sencha production line. Since Khmer-Cha is traditionally produced majorly employing only the round cauldron, the mechanized manufacturing line resorts to implementing other machines as well to improve and speed up the manufacturing process. A risk with this approach, however, is that the authentic aroma of a genuine Khmer-Cha might get lost or diminishes. The appeal of Khmer-Cha, as stated formerly, is derived in its kamaka, which is obtained through consequentially returning the leaf to the cauldron, allowing its tea incrustation to imbue the tea leaf with a unique aroma. When alternative equipment is employed, such as, for example, the agitation drum, the leaf is dried, employing hot air as is common for the manufacturing of sencha. However, in this case, it is less frequently exposed to direct contact with a heated surface, and thus may be less susceptible to the aroma thus secured. In similarity to the function, this agitation drum has in the processing for sencha, it beats and uncurls the leaf that has gotten clumped up during the kneading stage, while the humidity on the surface is allowed to evaporate through the addition of hot air in the revolving cylinder. Since the shaping stage is omitted in the production process for Khmer-Cha, the leaf is not further straightened and thinned. Therefore, the shape of leaf obtains during the agitation stage is near to its final form after initial production, which is a curly shape resembling that of a comma jewel, magatama, a feature distinctive to the specific kind of tea. Direct desiccation. Direct desiccation, suikan, is a process that is developed specifically for the mechanized manufacturing of Khmer-Cha. However, since the production lines at most factories are created according to the preferences of the producer that operates them, it cannot be said that all factories function in the exact same way, nor is it necessary so that each producing factory of Khmer-Cha has at least one of these machines implemented in their production line. While the machine for direct desiccation is extremely suitable for the production of Khmer-Cha, large-scale producers may choose to eliminate this stage for the sake of saving time, while other manufacturers may operate this machine shortly before drying the leaf further through indirect desiccation, which is explained further below. The direct desiccation machine is an iron drum in the shape of a cylindrical tube, which is positioned horizontally. This tube is, while being rotated, heated with a direct flame. The tea leaf inside the drum immediately comes in contact with the heated iron surface, searing the leaf as it would in the round cauldron. The heat that is in this way transferred onto the leaf is a sensible heat, Kennetsu, transmission, which makes use of far infrared FIR affecting the leaf differently than latent heat, and is believed to constitute the core of what characterizes Khmer-Cha. The reason why this piece of equipment is considered suitable to the manufacturing of Khmer-Cha is because it is the only automated machine that brings the tea leaf in direct contact with the heating body. Indirect desiccation. The machine used for indirect desiccation, saikan, is a derivation of the agitated drum, maintaining only its heating and drying capacities, removing the spades used to beat and unfurl the tea leaf. The outside of the drum is a thin layer of iron similar to the machine used for direct desiccation, but in correspondence to the agitation drum, its interior is lined with bamboo strips. This prevents the leaf from getting in direct contact with the interior of the cylinder, while the leaves are heated with hot air. Inside the drum, wooden beams are inserted in the interior of the drum in order to catch the leaf when it gathers at the bottom of the drum, carrying it up briefly to then again throw it around inside the tube. A device installed to keep the leaf from clogging together, allowing it to evenly be exposed to the hot air and to keep the tea leaf in motion. Accordingly, the main function of this machine is to simply dry the leaf and to extract and evaporate moisture to get it to the desired state of dehydration. The heat that is in this way transferred onto the leaf is a latent heat, senetsu, transmission, which makes use of an indirect infrared diffusion, IR. Conclusion parching. For conclusion parching, shime ire, the leaf is transferred one last time to the round cauldron, marugama, for a final round of firing. In an industrial setting, it is often the slightly angled hemispherical cauldron that is employed, which is more labour-friendly as it allows to process more tea at once. The cauldron is placed above a direct heat source, often in a brick base, and is equipped with rotating spatulas to revolve the tea leaf round in the kettle for uniform heat transmission. This stage again aids to imbue Kamairicha with its characteristic kamaka, while the leaf is further left to dry. Although this can be considered as the final drying stage for production of Kamairicha, it is comparatively similar to the branding stage for sencha. Some manufacturers still choose to hereafter transfer the tea leaf again to a drying chest in order to have the tea undergo one final round of drying to optimize the product's shelf life. Well, that was fascinating. It is so great in this book learning all about these different things to do with Japanese tea and a different approach to viewing them. If you've enjoyed that, then pop onto the link below in the description underneath. There's the link for Tea Book Club, and check us out. And if you fancy joining, there's still time to join us at the end of this month for the discussion on this book. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks for listening.